personality, evaluational and association this morning. Without further ado, I would like to hand over the house to you, Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna and my Dandavat Pranam to everyone on the call. I am feeling myself extremely fortunate to be in association of all of you today, and thank you for the opportunity to speak, though I am not eligible for any of this, but I will try my best. Please bless me that I can speak in such a way that it is of use and it cleanses each of our hearts, and we can glorify the Supreme Lord when we read Srimad Bhagavatham. So with this prayers at the lotus feet of all the Vaishnavas present, I will start today's class. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshura Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayit. Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtaki Shanvatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridayantastho Abhadrani Vidhunoti Suratsatam Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah. Nama Pankaja Nabhaya Nama Pankaja Malini Nama Pankaja Netraya Namaste Pankajangri Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So today we would be doing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 21, Text 44. Gunayanam Shiladhanam Kritagyam Vriddhashrayam Samvranatenu Sampadaha Prasidatam Brahmakulam Gavam Cha Janardana Sanucharascha Mahyam. Translation. Whoever acquires the Brahmanical qualifications, whose only wealth is good behavior, who is grateful and who takes shelter of experienced persons, gets all the opulence of the world. I therefore wish that Supreme Personality of Godhead and his associates be pleased with the Brahmana class, with the cows and with me. So, as we know that here in this chapter, Prithu Maharaj is telling, and over here he is continuing with his glorification. So he has been glorifying the Vaishnavas, and now he is glorifying the Brahmanicals, and he is saying that whoever acquires the Brahmanical qualifications, they only because they have the wealth of the good behavior. So they have all the opulence of the world. So, Srila Prabhupada in the purport, he says that Supreme Personality of Godhead is worshipped with the prayer that most of us, we all know. So he's saying that he's worshipped with the prayer of Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmanya Hitaya Cha. So thus it is clear that Krishna respects and protects the Brahmanas and the Brahminical culture as well as the cows. In other words, wherever Prabhupada says that wherever there is Brahmanas and the protection of Brahminical culture, cow protection, so therein all the good virtues of the human civilization, they are always seen. Now, in because like Srila Prabhupada in one of the previous purports of the text 42 of the same chapter, in the purport over there, Srila Prabhupada makes a point about who is actually a perfect Brahmana. So therein he says that a devotee of Lord Krishna is actually a perfect Brahmana. He makes the point that his situation, that is the situation of the devotee, is transcendental, or he is free from the defects of conditional life. The four main defects are like committing mistakes, to be illusioned, the propensity to cheat, and having imperfect senses. But a perfect Vaishnava or a Krishna conscious person is always in a transcendental position because he is always thinking about Krishna. So so in this verse, if we see there is glorification of the Vaishnavas again. So if we when we are doing the glorification of Vaishnavas, you must have covered if we go back to Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, I think chapter 16, therein where Lord Himself is addressing the Kumaras, the four Kumaras, and there He Himself talks about this. So there are, I think, 4 or 5 verses wherein Lord is talking about this. So I will take few important points from the translation from there. This is Canto 3, Chapter 16, Text 7, wherein the Lord is saying that because I am the servitor of my devotees, my lotus feet have become so sacred that they immediately wipe out all sins. And I have acquired such a disposition that the goddess of fortune does not leave me. So the Lord, anyways, like he is the Govardhan, so he has all the qualities. So he is like humility personified also. So over here he says that because I am the servitor of all my devotees, my lotus feet have become so sacred, and that it immediately is vanquishing all the sins. And he also says that because of this, because I am always serving my devotees, that I have acquired such a disposition that goddess of fortune is always with me. So over it in this verse, which is in Canto 4, where Prithu Maharaj is, describing the devotees. Here, if you see, here he also says that, such kind of devotees, the pure Brahmanas, they get all the opulence. So here when he says they get all the opulence, so what is real opulence? The real opulence is obviously the good qualities, the self-satisfaction, or because in Chaitanya Charitamrita we know that in the Madhya Leela, chapter 22, wherein we discussed the process of devotional service, therein we have all the 26 qualities that a devotee should be having. Like a devotee has to be always merciful, humble, truthful, equal to all, faultless, magnanimous, mild, clean. They are without material possessions. But without material possessions does not mean that they don't have possession. In fact, they they have the most opulence, because even after having all the material possessions, if a person can ever have, as such, no person can be there who can have all the material possessions. It's just the Bhagwan who can have that. But even if, whatever in this world, if we can see some president or someone who has a lot of money and fame, and we can say that maybe he's born with a silver spoon, and he has a lot of things, whatever prince, kings, whoever it is, they will have so much anxiety. But the devotees, they don't have that anxiety. I mean, they are most uh, satisfied in themselves. So, it is said that संतोष जो है वो सबसे बड़ा धन है. संतोष, self satisfaction, is the biggest possession, is the biggest material. I cannot say material thing. I don't know how to describe it in English. It's like the biggest asset that we can have. Then there on in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is also said that the devotees, when it is described the 26 qualities, they are indifferent to material acquisitions and are fixed in their devotional service. So whether the material things come or not, whether it's happiness, as such, they are indifferent to anything. Because this material world is always having duality. Whether it is related to money, whether it is related to happiness, it's related to anything. That is how this material world is made. It is ashashvat and it is dukhalaya. So there will be always this types of happiness and sorrow and all these things coming and going. But the devotees, because they are always fixed in the transcendental platform, they are anyways indifferent to all of this, and hence they are indifferent to the material acquisitions, whether they come or go. If they are there, they will be used for Lord service. If they are not there, whatever the devotee is having, his time, whatever, he will use it for Lord service. So it doesn't matter really. The devotees completely control the 6 bad qualities, as it is lust, anger, greed, and so forth. They eat only as much as required, and they are not, illusioned. They are respectful, grave, compassionate, and without false prestige. They are friendly, poetic, expert, and silent. In the same chapter, wherein these qualities of devotees are mentioned, if we go one or two verse up, I think verse 67, therein it is said that in one who has, there is a description of different kinds of devotees and all that in that chapter. So it is said that in one who has unflinching devotional faith in Krishna, all the good qualities of Krishna and the demigods are consistently manifest. So when we are always, when a devotee is in such a position that is always thinking of Krishna, so slowly he himself is getting Krishnajized, I would say, just so it's like, because the Lord Krishna, he is a reservoir of all the good qualities. The devotee is always, his mind is fixed in Krishna, then slowly he starts getting the qualities of Krishna, the good qualities of Krishna, and the demigods are consistently manifest. However, he who has no devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead has no good qualification, because he is engaged by mental concoction and in material existence, which is the external feature of the Lord. So here we come back again from Chaitanya Charitamrita to the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, wherein Lord is describing his own devotees, and therein, which is chapter 16, he is addressing the Kumaras. So he then goes on and tells the Kumaras that in the translation, I do not enjoy, this is text 8 of chapter 16, I do not enjoy the oblations offered by the sacrificers in the sacrificial fire, which is one of my own mouths, with the same relish as I do the delicacies overflowing with ghee, which are offered to the mouth of the Brahmanas, who have dedicated to me the result of their activities and who are ever satisfied with my prasad. Then he goes on, says in the next verse, I am the master of my unobstructed internal energy, and the water of Ganges is the remnant left after my feet are washed. That water sanctifies the three worlds along with Lord Shiva, who bears it on his head. If I can take the dust of the feet of the Vaishnava on my head, who will refuse to do the same? I mean, Lord, He's Lord of this entire, not only this world. I mean, the spiritual world. He's Lord of everything, and He's saying that the that Ganges is the water that washes His feet, and that is purifying the three worlds. If He is eager, He is always wanting to serve and take the dust of the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas. That how important, how elevated is the position of a devotee the Lord has given. So he says that who else in this world would be refusing to do the same? Then in text 10, he says just what Prithu Maharaj is saying, about the cows and the Brahmanas. So he says that the Brahmanas, the cows, and the defenseless creatures are my own body. Those whose faculty of judgment has been impaired by their own sin look upon these as distinct from me. And then in the next verse, which is text 11 of this chapter, he says that on the other hand, they captivate my heart who are gladdened in the heart and who their lotus faces enlightened by nectarian smiles respect the Brahmanas, even though the Brahmanas utter harsh words. They look upon the Brahmanas as my own self and pacify them by praising them in loving words, even as a son would appease an angry father, or as I have pacified you. So herein we see that the Lord, there have been so many instances, so many stories from Puranas. Even this one, the one in Canto 3, wherein Jai Vijaya stops the Kumaras, and then Kumaras get angry, they curse, and the Lord comes, and then he is speaking these beautiful verses uh, to the Kumaras. So therein he's trying to appeasing the Kumaras, and he's telling about himself. There are so many other instances like Bhrigu Muni. He goes when the uh, very, I think, famous story wherein he goes to find out of the three lords who is greater, and then he just goes and kicks the lord, and he comes up, he pays his obeisances, and the Lord asks him that, is his feet hurt because uh, when he killed. So I mean, how humble he is, and when he's saying that this much respect is giving in, we know so many stories. I mean, not one, two. There are so many instances that we can get that how Lord, he respects his devotees. He's ready to serve his devotees all the time. And now with this, we come back to our Canto 4, the chapter and the verse we are in. So herein, Prathu Maharaj is also saying the same thing that, about the Brahmanas, and he's talking about the cows. And in the purport, then Srila Prabhupada makes the same point. He says that because, as we know in the parampara, it's the repetition. It's the same thing wherever we will see. It's the same message that is flowing again and again, again and again, till the time our heart can really absorb it. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that a devotee acquires all the good qualities of the demigods. The same thing that has been said, we read it in the translation of Madhya Leela chapter 22 of Chaitanya Charitamrita. So same that Prabhupada is writing here. A devotee acquires all the good qualities of the demigods, and therefore he is Gunayanam, the reservoir of all good qualities. His only asset is good behavior, and he is always grateful. So in this world, when we see, we all, most of the people who are successful, everyone in fact, we have some good qualities, and based on those good qualities, it could be, someone could be very intelligent, someone could be cunning. I mean, even that is a quality, and someone could be very beautiful. Someone could be having a very nice melodious voice. So whatever some quality, and based on that quality, we do, we earn, or whatever we have our position, we get fame, you know, we have a positioning in the society and everything. So whatever, but with this good quality, when we start having all those things, then normally it is seen that many times people, along with the fame and the name and the position and everything, which is coming because of that good quality, and the good quality is obviously provided by the Lord, as is said in Bhagavad Gita by the Lord, that He is giving all this quality. He is the, He's the supreme intelligence. He is everything. So he, all those good qualities, as in Kathopanishad also it is said, Eko Bahunam Yo Vidhati Kaman. So the Supreme One is supplying all the necessities of the living entities. He's sitting in that, he's sanctioning their desires. So, but when a person gets, he starts having that arrogance that, he's doing it, he is having it. So that arrogance comes in there. But with the devotees, whose mind is always fixed in the Lord, whose center of life is around the Lord. So he knows that the quality is given by the Lord, whether it be money, whether it be fame, whether it be, good voice, beauty, whatever it is. So whatever it is provided by the Lord, and it should be used in the service of the Lord, and it should be handled with the right mood. The fame or whatever comes has to be passed on to our acharyas and the Lord, from where the entire link from where in the mercy is flowing to us. So they know that, and so they do not get illusioned. Otherwise, usually these things illusion the person, and he falls prey to ignorance and arrogance and all those kind of stuff. So herein, therefore, we see that Prithu Maharaj is saying that they are wealth of good behavior, but at the same time, in the translation, you will see he is grateful. So this attitude of gratitude, this is the thing that makes a devotee distinct, because he is always grateful for what he is having. He knows where the source lies, and therefore he is always grateful. There's a German philosopher, I'm not remembering his name now, but he said that people who are ingrateful, they are actually weak, because they are not able to accept that the source lies somewhere else. So that is also a weakness. The strength is when you know your position and you know from where you are getting and you accept it. That's gratefulness. So a very important quality in a devotee is his gratefulness. He is always grateful to the Lord in whatever situation it might be. So it could be a very great, very pompous, very nice, very comfortable situation, and the devotee is grateful. And it could be at the same time a very uncomfortable situation, wherein we might think, oh, why is the, maybe a normal person, why is the Lord doing like this to me? Why it is happening to me? But a devotee would see mercy of Lord there also, and that person is the true devotee, and that is what we will see in any of the devotees' life. Kunti Devi in her prayers in Bhagavatam, wherein she says that she wants to have more and more of those troubles, because when the troubles are there, she finds Lord always with them, and when the good time is there, the Lord is going. So she doesn't want that good time. She would rather have those hard times. I mean, it was such a trying time, the entire Mahabharata that went through, and so much the Pandavas and Kunti Devi has to go through, but she is still hankering for that if Lord is with her at that time and by the side of her sons at that time. So this is how a devotee thinks. In adverse situation also, a devotee is grateful to the Lord. I mean, with this, I'm remembering actually when I was reading the diary of Niveditha Swami Maharaj, and there are so many stories, but one of the story that one of the not exactly story, I mean a biography in that book, that Indradyumna Maharaj was telling about one of his disciple, she was a lady, and I'm not remembering her name. I'm sorry for that. But that lady, she has been working with she has been serving in the Maharaj and was a disciple as secretary for some time. And then she got some disease, because of which her legs were paining. And then eventually there was a condition when she can no longer be with Maharaj, and she retires off. And then when Maharaj, after a few years, goes to the city where this lady was, and she had requested the other devotees that because she cannot come because her legs were no longer working, she was not moving, she was in the on bed because she cannot walk. So, and her ill health. So, she had requested if she can have darshan of, Guru Maharaj, Indradumna Maharaj, her Guru Maharaj. So, Indradumna Maharaj, he goes, he has visited his quarter, and he describes that narration, and it's very heart touching. And obviously, I cannot describe it so nicely as he has done. But to just summarize it in short, so he goes, and this lady, he sees the apartment condition. It's like not that in good condition. Obviously, he was able to make out that financially, like it was she and her mother. Mother was very old, but the mother is taking care of the daughter because daughter is sick. She cannot move, and all that. And it's a little old house. They don't have that much finance and all that. He was able to make out everything. So, but when he goes there and he sees that lady, he was prepared that he will say some things when we see a person in such a distressed situation. So we will say some consolation words, something like that, which can cheer the person up or help the person up in that situation. But when he goes and meets that lady, he says that she has so much, she had so much satisfaction on her face. And throughout the talks that they did, she paid obeisance and she was so grateful that the Lord has given this opportunity in this lifetime, and the Maharaj has come and everything, and she was so happy. And then her mom started telling that she cannot go and all that, and she kind of stopped her mom that don't talk about all these things and easy at this time, so precious. And then actually Maharaj asks him that what do you do? So she cannot move much, she cannot go out much. So she said, I chant. And then Maharaj says, okay, after chanting, what do you do? So she said, I chant more. So Maharaj again asked that, what you do after that? And she was like, I do chant after that again. So then Maharaj was so, he was so touched that all day she's utilizing this very, imagine a person who has been so active once in the life, and then she's like totally in the young age, she's totally bedridden, she cannot go anywhere, you know. There's an old mother who's taking care, she's all the time on the bed. In such situation, mostly the people will be so agitated. But this lady has turned that most unfortunate situation that she's in her life into one of the most fortunate, that she is always absorbed in chanting the names of the Lord. And hence she is so satisfied, she is so grateful. And this is what the devotee's gratefulness is. Same way I was, hearing a lecture, and over there, in the lecture, the person who was giving the lecture, that Prabhuji, he tells that he had gone to Vrindavan during his yatra, and he meets a devotee couple over there. The husband was initiated by, I think, B.V. Govind Maharaj, and uh, and uh, and the wife, whose name was, I think, Kripamai, she was Russian and initiated by Indradumna Swami, and she was blind. So during the yatra, when they were talking, and this Prabhu, he asked that, maybe if this from childhood or something. So she was like, no, she had got some infection while she was in Russia. It was like long, like many years back, and then in the hospital, she gets some treatment, and it didn't work, and somehow she loses in the process. She loses her eyesight. So now in America, we know that we can file, all the six cases, but it looks like in that time in America, in Russia, there was nothing like that. So, anyways, but this lady, so this Prabhuji is like, oh my God, this is so sad that it happened, and it's so this thing, and it's like, no, no, I'm not, I'm not. Regretful about that. I think that maybe I take it like, Lord, I used my eyesight till the time I had it for for sense gratification, maybe too much, and therefore Krishna mercifully took the eyesight off so that I can look inside and I can contemplate, and so it's all gratefulness of Krishna. It is His mercy. So and the Prabhu goes on to teach that why she is so grateful, because really, then he started thinking that she's grateful because she's in devotion, she is in association of devotees, she's initiated, she's connected to this parampara of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. She has visited, she does many of the yatras, she has visited most of the places of Vrindavan, which maybe people who have eyesight have not yet visited. So she has visited all those places. Um, she has her own deities, Radha Krishna deities, whom she dresses, and Govardhan Shila, whom she dresses every day. The Prabhu in the lecture he said that they're so beautiful deities, and she dresses with so much heart. It's such a beautiful dressing, though she doesn't have her eyesight, but she does it every day. So that is a devotee. I mean, anyways, and we have so many examples. I mean, not one, two. There are so many. I can go on maybe for classes, and this topic cannot finish. The gratefulness of devotees, you know. So our own Jai Prataka Maharaj, so even our Guru Vargas. I mean, everyone. So if I take Jai Prataka Swami Maharaj, is in such a condition, but when he goes, I was reading something about him, and therein I read that when he was in so much pain himself, and he went for his therapies over there. So in that entire hospital room, which is only for patients like this, most of the patients are like, because of their pain and their incapacitated condition, they are so much agitated and frustrated that they are shouting on the doctors, and they are like just out. Their mental state is not a normal state. But then when doctors they see Guru Maharaj and they treat him, they are like, this person is so different. Like, he is helping, and he's trying to laugh even in this condition. He's trying to help others, and even in this condition, when he goes there, he thinks about all the other patients who are there. That if we can provide them with some little prasad, or maybe if we can have some kirtan or some book, or he will talk with them. So he's always thinking of them. So that is a devotee. Wherever he is, he's always thinking what he can do, what he can do to serve the Lord, and he's always grateful for where he is. So I mean, it's like, it's unfathomable. And even if we do not go, like, so far off, like, I know that each and every one of us who are in the call, we might be having so many examples, because we are ourselves, if we see, we are so lucky, we are so grateful to the Lord. When we see people around us, I mean, when it's like, at least I feel that I'm not at all, uh, I don't know. I mean, not at all. I don't know why Lord put me in association of these devotees, because I don't have any qualification to be in their association. They're so good. They take things so differently. They're always grateful. I mean, in Houston, few years back, though at that time I was not in Houston, I was in Atlanta. But flood came in, and many of the devotee houses, they were just flooded. They were flooded to such an extent that when the flood receded, it was not in usable condition. So they had to move to somewhere else, some other devotee house, or and they have to stay there. So so there are so many stories, but one devotee, uh, his entire house was like flooded, and he cannot move in. And then he moved near the temple. Now the person has moved near the temple, and he's made a he had the land near the temple since long, but he never had done the construction. So later, when I spoke and I was like, I'm so sorry, this happened and now you have to move. And then the person was like, no, no, I think it's, Lord has been so grateful. So I'm so grateful to the Lord. He has been so merciful. Maybe I had too much attachment over there, too much material attachment with that house and the stuff, because, none of the stuff was usable. I mean, the water has flooded it so much that none of the household stuff was usable anyway. So it was like maybe I had so much attachment. So Lord just took that off. And now and so I was like, oh my God, how nicely the devotees take it. They are always grateful in each and every situation. Whether Mayapur's temple gets flooded and the devotees have to clean everything again, they take it as mercy of the Lord. I mean, any situation. And then I've seen that how they transform it, and Lord helps, and it is again transformed in their favor, and they're more near to the Lord. I mean, all glories to Lord who is so so merciful, and therefore He has such nice devotees, and all glories to the devotees. I mean, it's a complete circle. The Lord is always glorifying the devotees and serving the devotees. The devotees glorifying the Lord and serving the Lord. It's an amazing circle. And just to be in touch with devotees like that, I mean, that's a life transforming experience. And hopefully, Lord and Guru and Gauranga, they be merciful to everyone, that they all get the opportunity that, I think I got without any qualification. We all, it's such a great thing. I mean, there are so many examples of devotees who have been, who are so grateful. If we look around, then Guru Vargas, so definitely, but in and around our own city, our own temple, we will find so many examples everywhere. So anyway, so gratitude for the mercy of the personality of Godhead, Prabhupada writes in the purport, is one of the qualities of the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. So after this is in this verse, Prabhupada writes that there is a word Vriddhashraya. It's very significant. So Vriddha refers to one who is advanced in knowledge. Now there are two kinds of Vriddha. Vriddha means old. So one who is advanced in years, but maybe knowledge-wise is still, to get. But real Vriddha is the person who has that experience with the knowledge. So, and what is real knowledge? So a real knowledge a person can get when he takes the shelter of a superior person who is advanced in knowledge. And therefore, in the verse, if we go back, we will see that the Brahmanical qualification, Prathu Maharaj says, wealth is good behavior, who is grateful, and who takes shelter of experienced persons, gets all the opulence of the world. The main opulence is the Hari Nam Dhan, right? If we can fully absorb ourselves in the names, in the holy names of the Lord, that's the main opulence. So how do we get it? We get it with, there has to be good behavior, and with good behavior we should have that quality of gratitude, so that automatically with gratitude comes the quality of humbleness. When you are grateful for everything that you have received, you will be humble, because you know that the source is somewhere else. It's not with you. There's nothing in you. Everything is with the Lord. मेरा मुझ में कुछ नहीं, जो कुछ है सब दोष, तेरा तुझको सौंपते, क्या लागत है मोह. So Vedas has said that I have nothing. I have nothing within me. There is nothing that I have of myself. जो कुछ है सब तो, everything is yours, O Lord. तेरा तुझको सौंपते, to give what you have given to me, to give you back that. Whatever you have given me, I have to give back the same thing to you. So what have I? What have I to do over here? So that is how a devotee thinks. So he's always grateful, and with that comes the humility. And with that humility and gratefulness, he takes the shelter of experienced person, of experienced Vaishnava, of a Vaishnava Guru. In the right parampara, he takes the shelter. And then when he takes the shelter with that right mood, he gets the Harinam Dhan, which is the biggest opulence, which is the real opulence of this world. Harinamaiva Kevalam, that Harinam, which is the only truth in this world, in this entire material world of Maya, the only truth is the Harinam Dhan. So that Prema Dhan is received by that person who has this quality of gratefulness, and then with this gratefulness and humble attitude, it takes the shelter of the experienced person. We see says that he wishes that Supreme Personality of Godhead and his associates be pleased with the Brahmanic class, with the cows and with me. So he therefore seeks the blessings of the Vaishnavas, the Brahmins, because the Vaishnavas automatically get, as we have read in the one of the purports that I've read already, that a devotee of Lord Krishna is actually the Lord of Brahma. He is actually a perfect Brahmana. He is always, immersed in Brahma. He is always immersed with Krishna's thoughts. He is in the transcendental platform. So he is the real Brahmana. So Prithu Maharaj seeks the blessings of the Lord for all the Vaishnavas, the cows, and for himself. So we see that this entire verse is glorifying, even the few of the verses over there, it's glorifying the position of the Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha. Vaishnavas are like, they are like the desired tree who can give us, everything, even the biggest opulence. And therefore the Lord, if we go back to the Bhagavatham verses that I had read from Canto 3, chapter 16, there is a Lord saying, because I serve the feet of the lotus feet of my devotees, therefore I have, because of that, the goddess of fortune is always there and she is serving me. I mean, that is the position is given with saying that he is the Lord who is the Lord of everything. Goddess is not one goddess of fortune, thousands and millions of goddess of fortunes are actually serving him. So he's saying they are all doing that because I am serving the lotus feet of Vaishnavas. So who else will not like to take the dust of such lotus feet of such Vaishnavas? So I would like at the end to summarize my lecture with a little para from song Okay Vaishnava Thakur that is written by Bhakti Vinod Thakur and is Bhushan Nagati. Then he says, Ekaki amar nahi paya bala Hari nama sankirtani তুমি কৃপা করি শ্রদ্ধা বিন্দু দিয়া দেহ কৃষ্ণ নামধানী ও হে বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর দয়ার সাগর এ দাসে করুণা করি ও বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর ও venerable Vaishnava O devotee of Krishna, please be merciful on me, O Daya Sagar, you are the ocean of mercy. On this servant of yours, please do your mercy. Edase karuna kori, please do your karuna, please give your mercy. Alone, I do not have that. Nahi paya bala, I don't have that bal, I don't have that capacity that I can do Harinam Sankirtan. Tumi kripa karo. Do your mercy, please be merciful on me. Give me a little drop of faith that you have. That Vaishnava, he has unflinching faith. He surrendered everything to that Lord. Just like Narad Muni in his previous life, we have read in Bhagavatam when he was a kid, he loses his mother, a small boy who has nobody else in this world, only the mother, and the mother is also gone. And he still takes it as the mercy of the Lord. And he goes, totally surrendered to the Lord. He goes and he starts, serving the Lord. I mean, what faith? I mean, how much faith is there? How much gratefulness is there? Total faith, a total surrender. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur, I mean, he himself is such a great Vaishnava, but for us, he has given us these songs, so that we can pray at the lotus feet of Vaishnavas and ask for a drop of that faith. Tumi kripa kori shraddha bindu diya deho Krishna namadhana, and give what? Give the dhan, give the dhan of Krishna's name. So it is like, please bless me, O Vaishnava Thakur, just one drop of faith with which to obtain the great treasure of the holy name of Krishna. Krishna se tomar Krishna dite paro tomar shakti aati. Krishna himself everywhere. Like today also we read those verses in Bhagavatam where it says he is the servitor of this. His own devotees is always busy serving them. And so they say Krishna is yours. And because Krishna is yours, you can give Krishna to me. Krishna does not belong to himself. Krishna belongs to his devotees. Krishna belongs to Radharani. Krishna belongs to his devotees. Krishna belongs to gopis. Krishna belongs to all his devotees. Krishna does not belong to himself. So Krishna might not be able to give himself, but his devotees can give Krishna. So Krishna is yours. And therefore you can give Krishna. If you have something, then you can give that. So Krishna is yours. So you can give him to me. Tomar Shakti Ache, you have that power. Ami to kangal, Krishna, Krishna boli, dhai tava pache pache. I am kangal, I don't have that. I don't have that unflinching faith. I don't have that attitude of gratefulness in the adverse situations. I don't have Krishna always in my mind and heart. I don't have. Though he is there in the heart, I cannot see him. O Vaishnav Thakur, please be merciful. I say Krishna, Krishna, and I want to get him, but you have the power, so please be merciful and give Krishna to me. I am running behind you. I am running behind you. And therefore, in Nectar of Instruction, we said that we have to follow the devotees. We have to follow the devotees, in their path of bhakti. When we follow them, when we do their sangha, and when we follow them, then with their mercy, we attain this Krishna. So, with this, I would like to, have stopped the class over here. So now, if any of you have any comments, any corrections or any questions, please feel free to ask.
Hare Krishna Mataji, very, very wonderful explanation and realizations and stories about it. Not the story, but actual incidents about the devotees. Thank you very much. Very, very wonderful class. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for your nice words, Mataji. Yeah, discussing about Vaishnavas is really very sweet. Very, very sweet, yeah. And I know all of you might be having some very nice heart-touching stories related to the Vaishnavas. So many examples. I mean, we can continue for maybe as Sesha can continue forever. So just the discussion of Vaishnavas can also continue forever, actually. Yeah, it's so sweet.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Class was very nice. I really liked how you were connecting it to Canto 3, Chapter 16, where those series of verses are very similar to the set of verses that we are reading now. Last 3-4 verses are very similar. Even this verse to 316. It was so beautiful that you connected them so nicely. And thank you for the very beautiful life incidents that you could take experiences with different people. That was very inspiring. Thank you very much, Mataji. It was a beautiful class. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for your nice words, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Niveditha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Very, very beautiful class, Mataji. Thank you so much for such a beautiful pastimes and very beautiful class, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. All glories to all the Vaishnavas. I mean, I was feeling so thankful that I was able to talk something about the Vaishnavas in the association of Vaishnavas. So actually, I am the person who is really grateful and thankful to all of you. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
so much, Mataji, for the wonderful class. Anybody has any more questions for Mataji or any realizations to be shared? Or we would like to end the call here. So once again, Mataji, this was indeed a very, very beautiful class. And we are very grateful to you and look forward to having your association again in future. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Mataji, thank you to all of you. Thank you.
ग्रंथ श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, हर ग्रेस निवेदिता माता जी की जय.
All glories to the Vaishnavas. Thank you.
Thank you.
This session is no longer being recorded.
Thank you, Mataji.